For those of you at home, John and I both left the room.
Well, you're back in the room.
I'm back. John is standing in the hallway right now, shaking his head. Oh my god! Every time.
Give me a minute.
We can't just sit here. This is like the most theatrical we've ever been, by the way.
Oh my god!
We can't just sit here and talk about a story and critically examine it. We have to be fucking idiots.
Hello everybody and welcome to Scare Your Friends. My name is Flea. I am the host of the Flea Circus, and I am joined by two of my friends today. Tonight we have Dan and Dylan. We haven't had this since the Flashlight game, I think.
Really? Really?
Yeah, since it was just the two of you and me.
Flashlight game. What was the flashlight?
The flashlight tag?
I honestly don't remember that.
You
one.
remember.
You remember. It's the one where you gave out my address.
Oh!
Yeah, that's you fucking dick. That's how I remembers.
Alright,
well, okay. Still don't remember the story, but, you know, I remember that.
Alright, we're not going back. We're not
going to go back. So
if
by the way...
go back and watch that episode.
There you go.
When we do these haunted stories, by the way, sometimes you can hear the screams of spirits.
Yep.
So, if you happen to hear what sounds like banshees screaming upstairs, no offense, Dan.
Upstairs? Where's upstairs? They can't see this.
Couldn't be banshees, couldn't just be my fucking family being loud and obnoxious.
But I tested it out, and if we keep talking, I think that we'll get through this podcast just fine. We're doing a light story today, one that isn't incredibly popular, so...
Some would say incredibly light. Some would say light and filled with potassium.
Is pasta filled with potassium?
I was talking about bananas, but okay.
Oh, right, because we're reading Mr. Banana.
I softballed you that, and you fucked it.
Well,
you fucked it, John.
As we saw earlier, he kind of missed half those.
All right.
So let me
We're not the most athletic. We get it, Dill. We can't all join a softball league like you. All right.
I wasn't going that way, but okay. Thank you.
All right.
You tell John he can't see his dick.
Oh my god.
Okay. let me go over what happened yesterday.
No. This is
podcast
cut, right? This is getting cut.
It's absolutely not.
The
world needs to know. Here's the problem. Because everyone's like, oh, everybody picks on Dylan so much on the show. And then people that listen. Then you sit there and you say fucked up shit to John.
This is what my week with Dylan has been.
I'm so happy this is going on the record.
So here's what happened.
Put the phone down.
So this is back when me, Dylan, and William were together. A new Sonic
Dylan,
opened.
Will, and I.
Whatever.
Come on, you know how to talk.
I do know how to talk. I'm doing it right now.
Good.
We went to get milkshakes, and I think as we were just talking about something, and I don't even remember how it came up, but Dylan said, "No offense, John, but I really don't want to look like you."
Oh
no,
my god!
It came up because
you didn't even tell me that one.
No. It came up because they were saying, "Oh, you're probably gonna keep going to Sonic about probably 7 more times during the week."
Yeah, because you have no goddamn control.
Well, I did, but still...
Audience, I just want you to know that Dylan loves milkshakes, okay? So if you want to send him stuff, I don't know how you would. We don't have a P.O. box or anything set up. But if you ever meet Dylan in the world for whatever reason, somehow, by just fate, buy him a milkshake. He'll
slap him in the face. Buy him a milkshake.
Well, that too. Slap him in the face. I'm thoroughly convinced that if Dylan had a girlfriend, right, and I fucked his girlfriend on accident, saying one drunken night, okay? One drunken night, we accidentally made a mistake. Mm-hmm. All I would have to do is buy Dylan 4 milkshakes and he would forgive me. Straight up.
Oh.
We're just tearing into him tonight. And I love it.
The only thing, and this is, Dylan laughed at this part. So, yesterday, we went to a pizzeria.
Oh my god.
And I got a buffalo chicken salad. And Dylan said, oh, that's pretty rare. Because he actually works at the pizzeria that we went to. He was just off that day. And he said, oh, that's pretty rare. No one really orders that.
No one orders it because it's not on the menu.
See, the thing that the audience needs to understand is Dylan is honestly like the purest, nicest person in our group, like genuinely. But the way he says things sometimes, for example,
I could be the biggest asshole on the planet.
Right. The way that you accidentally say things. I think what Dylan was trying to tell his mom when we got back to the pizzeria was John did something really rare. He ordered a buffalo chicken salad. But what he actually said was, Mom, you won't believe it. John got a salad. Implying that he couldn't believe the fact that I'm trying to eat healthier and that I'm trying to lose weight.
You misunderstood it, so that's not my fault.
So no one that is.
I have come up with the perfect character that you actually are for the people at home and the people that I tell stories about you to at my job and everything else. You are Michael Scott. For those of you who are familiar with The Office, you are Michael Scott. You have the best intentions, but the shit that comes out of your mouth or the shit that you do sometimes is fucking not okay and otherworldly.
Boom, roasted.
But you mean well. It's just you go about it in the most asinine, insane ways. So there you go. We're throwing the frisbee around. John's not throwing it well, but he's trying his best. And Dylan goes, John's his shorts are falling down because they're kind of loose on him. Because he is losing weight because he's been eating salad. But Dylan's like, well, and then something along the lines of, I said nobody wants to see it. And Dylan's like, John wouldn't see it either.
No. John said, I don't think this is appealing to you. And he had his pants down below his ass. And he goes, I don't think Dylan likes this. I'm like, no one want to see that. You couldn't even see that.
No, yeah, a horrendous thing to say to one of your closest friends. Awful. Nobody take this out of context, by the way. No one listening to this, please.
You know what?
That's
honestly, we should just do? Forget the story. Let's just have like a therapy session right now.
Shit on Dylan.
No, it's like
30 minutes.
This is our therapy.
Yeah.
Everything's coming out.
Of all the shit you two have said, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, after the shit that you're saying to John, I kind of think you deserve it, Dill, don't you think?
But it's funny how much you say. You will say things
Dylan,
10 times that
Dylan,
I say. I'll say it one time. You're like,
Dylan,
oh my god.
Oxygen.
Fuck off.
That's it.
End
of discussion. They have no idea what that means, but you know, and that's why. And if anybody wants to know the story, hit Dylan up on Twitter.
No, do not. 'Cause I will not answer that.
There you go.
I will give Dylan some dignity and not share the oxygen story.
You already stripped what dignity I already have.
That's a podcast in and of itself.
I would destroy you if I discussed the oxygen story right
now. You know
now.
what? Just do it.
I'm not doing it.
Okay, so Mr. Banana, guys, that's what we're reading. Let's fucking do it.
Okay.
You wanna preface this with anything, John?
Yes.
Okay.
Because all right.
I already made that joke.
He didn't get the song.
Oh my god, John. Please.
In the last episode,
Christ.
I mentioned that during the beginning of these podcasts we would do something called feedback.
Right.
And I'm not going to call it feedback, or so I'm going to call it follow-up. I think that's a better name for it. Really, it'll be either or. I guess we can workshop.
I'm just going to tell everybody to go fuck themselves, no matter what they say. So.
Okay, that's fine. Cool. Just like my dad. Anyway, I'm kidding.
Whoa.
I love my dad. Full disclaimer. Full disclaimer. I love my father.
Soft high five just commenced.
All right. But yeah, in the last episode, I don't know, like, I thought about, like, it was something I definitely want to do. I like the idea, because usually we have stuff to say after the podcasts are over.
It's just the problem is we still haven't released the one that we recorded.
Yeah, pulling back the curtain, what's happening is Dan might be going to Buffalo.
All right, nothing's set in stone.
Right. Well, I'm definitely going to Massachusetts. Right. You're going to at least try to go to Buffalo.
I'm going to try to go to Buffalo. So, Buffalo, New York.
They're going to leave me alone.
So, if well, you deserve it now because of all the shit that you're talking.
You'll have to get a new fat best friend.
To be fair, I'm going to Storybrooke. So.
All right, fair. So, anybody who's in the Buffalo area, if you're a fan of this podcast, I don't know why you would be, but if you are,
look for a faceless man.
Looking for a faceless man. No, we'll do, before everybody leaves, we should do a face reveal. If this video gets 1,000 likes, we'll do a face reveal.
Who wants to see your ugly ass?
I'm turning into fucking Nate. Alright.
Someone's got to pick up the slack.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, but the point is, yes, what I'm going to do is when I get up to Massachusetts, I'll probably start releasing these. Probably before I leave, actually. I think it should be early June when the next episode comes out.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is instead of doing a new episode every 2 weeks, what I might try to do is one episode a month, and during the halfway points, like maybe if I release the first week, then during the third week, we will... Oh, and the spirits are out today. Ooh. Do you hear those spirits?
I heard no spirits. You're just going crazy.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
I think the audience could hear him too, to be
I
honest.
bet you they can't.
Anyway, we're going to release a follow-up video.
And subscribe.
Just click off, honestly. Just please. Dan looks so angry.
That was worse than Nathan. That was
That
worse
is
than
honestly-
Nathan doing it every fucking podcast he's ever on. I really don't like you right now.
I'm this close to sharing the oxygen story.
Oh, wow.
Vinegar is coming out.
Anyway,
I think, yeah, like Dan said, we're going to release a follow-up episode like 2 or 3 weeks after the episode actually comes out. And the reason I'm going to do it that way is because when we are like away and not like, and when we're over state lines, we can do it online. I can even just do it by myself or with one other person, or even bring on guests to see what they think of it. And we'll read your comments. So yeah, continue to comment on the videos, and just or just send me comments on Discord. Either way, I'll read whatever. So there you go.
I can't read the comments if they're on Discord, John. I would like to read what the people are saying.
Well, I'm going to tell you on the podcast.
No, don't comment on Discord. Comment on YouTube.
Well, you don't comment on Discord. You just chat on Discord.
Don't chat on Discord. Comment on YouTube so we can all see it. And have a
fight.
measured response. Why are you being selfish right now?
Trying to start fights again, man.
Awful.
I'm in a real salty mood today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I'm scared.
You should be.
So
Fart.
I picked this story because it is about a teacher.
Oh, okay.
You?
Why are you pointing at me?
I'm not pointing it. I'm doing like a little finger wag, like, get it?
I mean, nobody else can see that, but sure.
I know. Yeah, it's a podcast. It's true. Yeah, and I might be studying to be a teacher soon. It might happen in the fall. I might literally work in a haunted mansion. Who knows?
Can you are you trying to pioneer the study of creepypasta as a college major? Because that would be fucking rad.
No, I like myself too much to do that.
All right, that's fair. Then why are you doing a podcast?
I do a podcast on creepypastas. If you're not gonna pioneer
Because
it.
we do it for the lulz.
Is that why we're doing this?
No.
So basically, Slime Beast is making stories for the lulz. is what
For
you're
the
saying.
No, I made this podcast because what
What are these noises you're
I don't
making?
know.
What are these
Dylan,
noises?
sit the next couple out, all right?
Honestly.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, just curl up into
Yeah,
a ball.
get comfortable. Yeah, that's great. Let's show me your ball sack. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Dylan, take your pants off. I mean, keep your pants on. Why
At least you could see your own dick, unlike some people in the room.
Wow, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
Were you in playing?
I don't know.
He can't see his either.
I mean, I can if I lean a little bit.
Wow.
Ladies.
Oh God, we'll break something. I just broke a chair.
Dude, I love that chair.
Alright, so yeah, I might study to be a teacher, so I picked Mr. Banana.
Excellent.
Also, this story was recommended to us by a listener. His name is Lion O'Day. Lion, thank you for recommending this story.
Thank you.
Oh day.
New day.
New way.
New way. Nobody has. See, sometimes I have to speak Dylan's language and nobody else knows it, so that happens.
I'm baffled. to be
Yeah, it's
honest.
pretty crazy. Well, this is like when you and Dylan start talking about sports. I have no fucking. It might as well be Mandarin. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't fucking know.
Want to start reading, Dan?
Oh,
Yeah, I
shit.
guess. How much? Okay,
Shit, we're doing that.
can we? How many minutes have we wasted? I'm just curious.
Not as bad as the last one, only 15.
That's a lot. That's a lot of
It's
minutes.
like a PSA.
We've been doing civics for the past month.
This is a banana.
I was
Mr.
teaching.
Banana.
I was teaching second grade at Witherspoon Elementary, where Reese lives. That's a Dylan joke. Struggling to teach the meaning of Gettysburg and the Battle of Princeton to a bunch of 8-year-olds, especially without giving a diatribe about the evils of slavery and making them bring that shit home to their parents. One day I was starting through a lesson on the states' rights speech by Jefferson Davis when suddenly Jimmy blurted out, "Mr. Johnson, you look like a banana." The other kids laughed their asses off, latching onto the joke immediately. "Yeah, big fat banana, big fat stinky banana." And that little boy was Dylan. All right. I know my clothes are a little funny. I was wearing a yellow Ralph Lauren button-down and some bright mustard khakis. All right, yeah, that guy definitely deserves it then. Brown shoes, too. The stem, I guess. Just for today, you can call me Mr. Banana. The kids exploded after that. We didn't accomplish much for the rest of the day, but I wondered if this whole Mr. Banana business might actually be good for them. Go ahead, Dylan.
Alright. On the way home, I decided to buy some stuff from Green Street. A couple of yellow button-downs, some yellow ties, a few pair of pants. I signed the receipt, Mr. Banana. The cashier didn't notice, but I chuckled as I walked out the door. Psycho. Walking down...
You've never signed a receipt without your, like, have you done that before, Dan?
No.
Like, you purposely... No. Yeah, I think I did that once. I don't
Not
remember.
not for funsies. Like, I just like whatever. Yeah.
I think I did it once at, like, a tropical smoothie.
At a sushi place, and they went, I'm stealing your credit card information.
Why are you bringing this up? Why would they know?
For fun.
All right.
Wow,
We're getting a little bit of insight into everyone's personal life. It got real before. I'm still riding that high.
You're threatening me with the oxygen story. So please.
Yeah, man.
Walking down Nassau, I had the sudden craving for banana bread. What the fuck? So I went to Wawa.
I'm familiar with all of these things.
Figured I would bake one for myself and one for the kids. When I got home, I mixed up the ingredients and put 2 loaves in the oven. Then I pulled up an old episode of Sesame Street on YouTube. I was thinking a lot about Yellow, I guess, but it had never occurred to me how magnetic Big Bird was. That lovable behemoth. Always brightening everyone's mood. There is this one episode where he goes to school for the first time and he tries to take his desk and from the classroom because the teacher said it was his. I laughed thinking about how having a giant bird in my classroom. Everything would probably go to shit. Anyway, once the banana bread was done, I sliced myself a big piece, squirting a little whipped cream on top. It was good, but it tasted a little strange. Figured I would change up the recipe if I made another batch. The next day I came into school in full yellow garb, a pineapple tie, some pastel pants, even an old pair of shoes that I spray painted yellow. Once the kids sat down, we went through our daily salutation with a slight twist. Good morning, class. Good morning, Mr. Banana.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I'm already like, this is fucking weird.
This is a little bit of an odd story. Intriguing? Or... I don't know.
So far, yeah.
I mean...
One would say this is bananas. Oh, that was too rich. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
For those of you at home, John and I both left the room.
Well, you're back in the room.
I'm back. John is standing in the hallway right now, shaking his head. Oh my god. Every time.
Give me a minute!
We can't just sit here. This is like the most theatrical we've ever been, by the way.
Oh my god!
We can't just sit here and talk about a story and critically examine it. We have to be fucking idiots. And I guess that's our thing.
No. Not you.
I guess
me.
No. It's not just you. It's mostly you, but it's not just you. This is every time. Every time.
Oh, that was rich. That was rich. The look on your faces. Priceless. It's amazing that got to you. Just saying.
No, it's not.
No, it is.
Yeah, it is. Knowing you.
You're adults.
No,
Come
it's coming from you. I should expect it at this point.
Yeah, that's why I was confused as why you walked out the room, knowing that it could have happened at any time.
John, do you want to take the
Every
next
kid
paragraph?
got a piece of banana bread wrapped in plastic between gluten and walnuts and eggs. I probably would have been sued if a crumb fell on the floor. Woo! I'm still mad. Somehow we made some headway on the Civil War that day. I showed them segments from the documentary about Abraham Lincoln, and they actually sat still, fumbling the banana bread in their hands. I started getting emails from parents a few days later. Dear Mr. Johnson, Alice absolutely loves your class. She said you're the funniest teacher she's ever had. Keep up the good work. Mrs. Goldman. It was nice to get that approval. Like, I was actually doing something important. Hell, maybe these kids would even remember some stuff I taught them. So, I started to go all out. I just got a notification on my phone. That was scary. It was like, attention! Your fucking shit's about to die.
Hallelujah!
I think I ran out of data. Whatever.
Oh, that blows.
So I started to go all out. I figured this was based on the spray-painted shoes and the pants and the banana bread. I think this guy might be a little obsessed. I started to go all out, bringing in yellow streamers to hang around the classroom, typing up the weekly newsletter with a banana-themed border, taking showers with L'Oreal Banana Blast Shampoo.
L'Oreal.
I spent days on Google just so I can do a banana fact of the day for the kids.
Jesus Christ.
Turns out a scientific name for banana is Musa
sapientum.
Thank you, Dylan.
That was pretty good.
Which means fruit of the wise men. Go figure.
Wow.
I decided I would bring in banana bread every Monday, something for the kids to look forward to at the beginning of the week. I added a few sprinkles of cinnamon to the second batch, but the batter still didn't taste right to me. I figured a few strands of my banana-infused hair might do the trick.
What?
Oh, there it is. So every time with me. So I chopped off a few stragglers from the back of my neck and sautéed them in some olive oil. The batter had a slight pinch after that. Definitely an improvement. I met with Principal Doyle. Principal Dole. You get it?
Yep.
Dole Banana the next morning.
What a clever boy!
Felt a little ridiculous going to meeting in a neon yellow Jerry Garcia, but he didn't seem to mind. You know, Mr. Johnson, I've received a lot of positive feedback about your whole fruit-themed initiative. Seems to really keep the kids focused. Anything to improve those test scores, right? Haha, no child left behind. Hey, if it works, it works. Keep it up, and you might find yourself tenured in a few years. I'm just happy to get through to these kids, sir. It was almost June, and the mosquitoes were starting to come out. Turns out banana peels are a good cure for the bites. Sure. I asked anyone in the class if they wanted to be a volunteer. Jim made a big, nasty bite on his arm, and he wiped the peel all over his arms in front of the class, on his face, too. How's that feel, Jimmy? Really cool, Mr. Banana. Anyone else want to give it a try?
I'm feeling a little uncomfortable.
Everyone in the class raised their hand.
Where's the pedophile vibes coming?
It's always pedophile. It's always pedophile with you. It's always pedophile and dicks.
And dreams.
And dreams. And suicide.
I think this is the first time I brought pedophilia.
And fat people, apparently.
It's the
oh,
first...
come on, you big-ass baby.
Oh, my God. It is the first, and it's one too many.
I love you, Dylan.
Love you, too.
I mean, somebody has to. And that's when he walks out. There you go. Got him back.
It's alright.
Got him back.
Everyone's walking out.
This is I said before, this is the most theatrical podcast we've ever had.
He's actually going upstairs.
Yeah.
So, Dan, how are you doing?
I'm alright. You want to finish the story? Or?
I don't know.
Alright.
I hope he comes back.
No, but he's going upstairs to watch whatever the fuck award show is on with my family. Oh, no, there he is.
There he is.
I just made it sound like I was upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Why would you say that on the... Oh! No showmanship.
That's what we call cutting.
No show. We're not... John has never cut anything.
Oh, I've cut things.
Shh. You have to cut that now.
Oh, I'm not cutting this.
I cut this too.
Cut it into thin slices, like a banana. Anywho, sans the pedophile discussion. What else are we thinking?
Sans the pedophile discussion.
I just think this guy is definitely a bit obsessed. I think it would be very weird if, let's say you're another teacher at the school and you walk in to say, like, you want to ask Mr. Johnson, like who's on recess duty today? And you walk into a classroom of second graders and you see this grown-ass man rubbing banana peels all over a little kid.
First of all,
I'm not going to say anything.
It's
so creepy.
It just feels, especially nowadays, you can't even touch kids these days, at all.
I don't think so. Yeah, probably.
I feel like you can't do a thing.
Especially
with
if your
kids.
name's Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
I mean, yeah, I guess Mr. Banana is the better name. Don't be.
That's the metaphor, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Didn't
why.
even realize.
Maybe this
Johnson, for those of you who don't know, Johnson is, I forget the term, is another term for penis.
Schlong.
And so, well, schlong is also another term for penis. Schlong, Johnson, schwack.
Wedding tackle.
Schwack. I love using schwack.
Wedding tackle.
Alright, now we're just doing Austin Powers. And banana.
Twig and berries.
We're teaching all the kids. We're teaching all the second graders that are listening sex education now.
All right, Dan, take over.
I did. I finished.
Oh, yeah, you did. Okay.
I did. Dylan, take in.
Oh, okay. When I got home, I turned on a documentary about corruption in Chiquita Brands International.
Sure.
Apparently, they brought cocaine to Borneo on some of their ships, treated the plantation workers like shit too. I thought it would be nice to write a letter to the company about my initiative. Figured they might like to know that their product was more than just a topping for oatmeal. That's it. I spent the whole night writing, and it turned into a few thousand words about my theories on elementary education. I didn't really think much of it, but I sent it with the subject, "Bananas are more than just food," to info@chiquitainternational.com. It would probably be lost amongst the shit from angry customers anyway. It didn't cross my mind again until that weekend when I got a phone call on the treadmill at Planet Fitness. "Mr. Johnson, this is Sophie from the Star Ledger. Just got an email from someone at Chiquita. Do you have a few minutes for an interview?" Yeah, of course. I was on the cover that week. It was a photo of me dressed in full yellow, pointing above the camera in the foreground with all the gape-mouthed students behind me. Mr. Banana peels away the doubters. The local CBS station stopped by the school for a segment too.
What is happening?
I don't know.
I'm not saying it's bad.
I feel like this is gonna fucking just heel turn, like, right at the end. Like, I feel it coming.
I like the concept,
Pull a
though.
Shinsuke?
It's a little weird.
I watched my segment that Sunday.
It's gonna end with him killing someone.
Yeah, probably.
I watched my segment that Sunday, a few minutes of my awkward teaching voice, interspersed with interviews from me, Principal Dole, and a few parents.
Banshees are going at it up there.
Wow, look, the spirits are angry.
Ooh,
Begone, spirits!
I don't know.
Begone, bitches!
Big on bitches.
Apparently some other elementary school teachers were starting to do it too. Mrs. Strawberry, Mr. Blueberry. I wondered if anyone else was doing the banana too. Once the special was over, I went to work on my third batch of banana bread. I sprinkled the cinnamon, sauteed some of my neck hair, but the batter still tasted a little flat to me. I looked down at my hands. It occurred to me that my skin was starting to turn a little yellow, probably from all the bananas I'd been eating. I wondered if my skin had any of that flavor too. I'd grabbed the tweezers and plucked the thin piece from the tip of my...
Oh, God! Fuck!
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
It was a little salty, but definitely had a fruity taste to it. I figured I'd try it out in the batter, so I took a bowl and plucked some skin off all 10 of my fingers. Then I mixed it in.
So
That made my skin crawl.
This is.
I feel dirty.
There was, and I think we've mentioned this before, but the sausage story.
Which one?
From More Scary Stories to Tell Your Friends in the Dark. You remember how William was talking about how a guy accidentally cooked his hand and then ate it and said it was delicious? It was one of the older podcasts that we referenced.
Okay.
But similar idea. This is like a More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark story. Where the guy, he's like, I'm a banana, I'm just gonna eat myself.
Even if the story heel turns at this point, that part made
that's a fucking heel turn.
That part made my skin crawl.
So basically,
Dylan's like rubbing his arms.
So basically, he's just gonna
Look at him.
He's gonna peel himself to peel the outer shell.
Yeah, probably.
And comes on smooth, I guess.
The last line of that paragraph is wonderful. Tasted great. That's it.
Really? Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I took a bowl and plucked some skin off all 10 of my fingers and I mixed it in. Period. Tasted great. Period.
It's great.
I'm gonna puke.
I'm trying to... I think I lost where I was.
That morning, people actually recognized me in the streets. All those Princeton kids must watch the news. I couldn't make it more than a few steps down Washington without being stopped for a selfie or a congratulatory handshake. It was nice. Actually, I never thought wearing silly clothes would make people like me so much. I threw up in a trash can when I walked in the classroom, figured I'd been eating too much potassium. It was pure yellow, of course. That bright bile and banana mixture must have been churning in my stomach for days. I was there earlier just so I wouldn't have to engage in that jealous, snarky small talk with the other teachers. So you're some sort of teaching genius, huh? I wrote the banana fact of the day on the blackboard, then sat at my desk shaking, waiting for the kids to arrive. Isn't there a condition if your skin turns yellow? Or that,
Jaundice. Jaundice is what it is.
I don't think he has jaundice, but he is just eating potassium at this point.
Yeah, he's probably not even actually turning yellow. He's probably just a fucking nutcase.
Getting sick, yeah.
Should I go?
Yeah.
I handed out the rations.
I handed out the rations of banana bread after the Pledge of Allegiance. I wondered if the kids would still eat it, if they knew they were eating a piece of me.
Oh my god.
Figured I should keep it a secret for the time being. Plus, it was my best batch yet. They didn't need to know how it was
Nothing
made.
like forced cannibalism.
Mm-hmm. That night I got another email from Goldman.
Mrs. Goldman.
Good evening, Mr. Johnson. Congrats on your 15 minutes. Alice just loves the idea of her teacher is famous. We really appreciate all of your effort, especially baking for the kids every week. Just a heads up. Alice found a hair in her banana bread this evening. Make sure you keep cleaning out. Make sure you're keeping things clean at home. We wouldn't want her to get sick and miss out of class.
Well,
this is Goldman.
Oh, and it begins.
I went to the bathroom and looked at myself in the mirror, still dressed in my work clothes. It occurred to me that I was really starting to look like a banana. I gelled the top of my hair into a curved, pointed stem and turned sideways, arching my back. For a second there, my face in the mirror disappeared. I was perfectly smooth, perfectly curved, perfectly ripe.
Oh, God.
I almost cried thinking about changing into my pajamas instead of a delicious yellowish pulp. I was just a freckled, overweight sack of blood and bones.
I wish William was here. I really wish William was here to read this with us. He's the Reddit king, or the Reddit Duke.
The Duke
He's
of
the
Reddit.
Duke of Reddit. He's the Duke of Reddit.
Facts straight.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, man. I peeled off my clothes and walked into the kitchen just to make sure I took a kitchen knife and made a small incision on my forearm. Why the fuck y'all... We've read far worse shit.
It's the tiny...
It's a tiny... The little things can be
the
away.
idea of it.
It's gonna get worse because I'm reading. The blood immediately oozed out and a dark purple sludge began to drip onto the floor. I sliced the other arm, the same result, and then to the same result, then sat down watching the blood sputter angrily onto my thighs. I woke up a few hours later, shivering, caked in a brown metallic crust. I ate some breakfast, took a shower, then put on my full yellow outfit. Figured I should wear a long sleeve for the next few days. It's that kind of shit that, like, he throws in that's really good.
Yeah, the last sentence of every
It's
paragraph
really
is
good.
like just a perfect.
On Fridays, the student performed a little play about Appomattox Courthouse. Sitting in the back of the classroom, I wiped my eyes and typed an inquiry into Google. Did the Confederate soldiers eat bananas? I spent the weekends at home, lights off, watching the same episode of Sesame Street on repeat. Big Bird yanking on the desk, the nails screeching from the force. You said it was mine, you said it was mine. On Sunday night, I chopped off my left pinky and fried it in a skillet. I sliced it in tiny pieces and mixed it in the batter. The banana bread came out darker than usual, a little savory, but still delicious. I wrapped my left hand in gauze and went to bed. I woke up late the next morning, only had a few minutes to get ready. I slid into an Average Joe's t-shirt on a pair of yellow khakis. Average Joe's from Dodgeball, because it was yellow. Stuffed the banana bread in my backpack and walked out the door. The kids stared at me warily as I walked into the classroom. Once they sat down, Jimmy raised his hand. Yes? Mr. Banana, what happened to your hand? Oh, this, just a little accident. Nothing to worry about. I held out my hand for the whole class to see. Were you climbing a tree? No, Jimmy. Just an accident in the kitchen. What are those scratches on your arms? I looked down. My forearms were crusty with blood. Must have opened up the cuts again, somehow. I hadn't showered in days. Don't worry, kids. Let me run to the bathroom and clean up. Do you want me to just keep me later?
I'll finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I rushed out of the classroom into the bathroom across the hall. I took the gauze off my left hand, then I pounded my fist against the hand dryer until every bone shattered. I woke up to the sound of a faint whisper behind me. I stood up and turned around. It was a banana, slightly bruised, but a beautiful shade of yellow with sharp lines protruding from the stem. He turned sideways, revealing his perfect curvature, and flashed me a big smile. I walked toward him, closer and closer, until my nose was inches from the glass. Then he reached up and grabbed the top of his stem, stretching it sharply to one side. Slowly, he pulled it apart, revealing the incredible white flesh inside, radiating, breathing beautiful. So I did the same, dragging my fingernails down my scalp, carving into my bones. The fresh, airy pulp coated my forearms, and clumps of yellow shrapnel fluttered to my feet. And then I was naked for the first time, staring into my own eyes, my own flesh, panting, finally believing that I was something more. I pressed my lips against the glass, a cool breeze rushed to my core, and then I was gone.
And that was Mr. Banana. Who wrote this, by the way? Should be an author.
Good story.
RKG Stories? Is that just where you go to... I don't know who the author of this is. I'll have to look it up later.
Find the Duke of Reddit, he'll know.
This shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. It's one of the top comments. This was weird. This is like something we would read on our April Fool's videos. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but like...
A little bit.
I think it works, though.
It's
odd enough.
Yeah.
It's odd enough to stand out.
Yeah.
It was bananas.
Yeah.
Really? I'm sorry, I had to make the joke.
So... We basically read a story about a man's slow descent into actual madness.
Yeah.
And in a very clever way.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you guys hated that comment, but do you think that author was thinking like clever, like, oh, he's going to be going bananas, literally? Like,
yeah, kind of.
Maybe.
A little bit.
You know, like that kind of was like,
This isn't necessarily scary. this sort of this
It
does
makes
the
your
whole,
skin crawl,
Yeah, this does the whole gross out thing, but not
Yeah.
but in a clever way. Not
Yeah,
in a,
yeah.
Not
Not
in a
like-
Jeff the Killer kind of way where
Yeah.
it's like, and then he's stabbed.
or fucking SpongeBob
Squidward suicide with a shotgun.
There was one thing, Dan, when you were reading, and you just read it like it was just calmly. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Well, because the author's like that. The author's incredibly calm the entire time. He's literally mutilating himself, and he's like, "Yeah, the banana grass is a little darker. It tastes good though. There's blood on my arms. I'll just shower it off. It's fine. I'm a fucking banana.
It's a nice colorful pinky for the bash.
It's
It's
a fucking
fine.
banana. Whatever." Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird story, but somehow I liked it because it was unique and it was different enough.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Thank you, Lion O'Day, for
Yeah, you
recommending
fucking
it.
sick son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good, but I don't know where to even begin, like, unpacking the story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty straightforward. It's
I mean,
it's
it'll
fucking
be
weird.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard to deconstruct, or in this case, unpeel the story.
Unpeel the story.
And yet, I was given shit for my
Mine is a
Because
little
that
bit
was
clever.
That was bullshit when you said... That was
fit.
utter...
It
no,
fit
no,
like
it
his
didn't.
day.
That's fucking... But Dole Banana Mush shit, Dill. It was garbage.
You do stretch that one.
Unpeel, toss the fucking peel out, shut up.
You really stretched for that
Dude,
one.
my fucking brain's melting after reading that
You
story.
can spin around the fucking bat, so
Oh my god.
Do we like the ending?
Yes.
You like the
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah.
So what do you think that... how do you interpret the ending?
So here's the thing.
He's
You know
meat,
what?
he's meat from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, honestly, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
And nobody's gonna get this because nobody else did
Well, you have to
this.
explain why.
Well, okay,
Together.
so when I was in... Don't fucking...
They couldn't see the hand motions from Dylan.
No,
Dylan's really
That's the
feisty
point.
You
tonight.
go off
that's
and
the
say...
point.
Yeah, but you go off and say random bullshit all the time and nobody fucking... Everyone's like, what are you talking about?
Well, that's my thing.
So, when I was... I have a...
Be yourself, dude.
Yeah, please. Well, not too much.
Yeah.
I have a buddy of mine, Sam, who I've known for a long time now, and I went to school with him up in Buffalo, and we used to text each other randomly out of nowhere, like really, really long, extensive paragraphs, just writing gruesome shit like that to each other, like. But we always like use like Nintendo characters, which is really fucking weird.
So you were writing Nintendo creepypasta.
We were, basically we were like Donkey Kong rips out his guts and strangles me with his internal flesh, and I become the Kong, like shit like that, but like much more extensive, like 3 or 4 full text blocks through. So that's what this kind of reminds me of. I'm sure he would appreciate it if I fucking showed him this story.
Yeah. I think the name... I mean, there's not too many characters in the story, but I remember...
There's one, really.
Well, there's a couple. There's Mr. Johnson, who turns into Mr. Banana, which
Right.
are both,
Phallic
like we said,
symbols.
phallic symbols in
Yeah.
some way. Or like this idea of like being a... I don't mean to get like... A phallic symbol doesn't have to be a penis, but it could be a curved shape. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like a banana.
This story's
or
about
a-
pedophilia. I believe Dylan's right. It's
So,
all
yeah.
about pedophilia.
I don't think so.
Well, it threw a curveball. It wasn't about pedophilia. It was about going nuts.
I think I imagine
that's
this
fucked.
man being a miserable sack of shit and finally finding something.
Yeah, I
And
picked
But
up on
it's
that
kind
too
of
for whatever
crazy
reason.
how much happens in 2 weeks.
Right. So
He
like,
goes from this teacher and then somehow he emails a company and they
Yeah.
put him on the news that
Yeah.
he's using bananas to like...
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I don't know where I picked up on that, but I feel the same way. How this guy's kind of a schlub, and he's not liked, or he feels like he's a failure, or whatever.
He's like 80% of YouTubers. They
Right.
just kind of fall into fame even when they don't deserve.
Right, and
No kidding.
he has this thing, and he's loved for this thing, and he just clings onto it and runs with it, and it makes him
Like
go crazy.
he's so desperate to be loved and
Right.
liked that he's
Right.
cutting his own pinky.
Is
to
this
feed-
a metaphor for Hollywood?
What?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Is this a metaphor for modern YouTube culture? People like us, we'll cut our pinkies off, like, comment, and subscribe.
I'll cut my pinky off for 100,000 likes.
I'll go dickless for Michael Chickless. It's an old Jake and Amir joke. Dylan's like, yeah, it is.
It is. It is.
Yeah, this story is just really fucking weird, but in a good way. We've read some weird shit where I sit there and I scratch my head and I'm like, this is insane. Why?
I remember you said the same thing about Stranger Security tape. There was a little.
Well, that story is bullshit. It's nonsensical. It's just fucking dumb. Like there's a story. When we did the Stupid Cows podcast. And the laptop one, that was what the fuck. Like, the laptop one was fucking weird. Yeah,
that was a realistic
but it was weird, and it made sense, but it was just off the wall fucking batshit. Like,
and gory, but not an overdone.
Right,
way.
this is just fucking, it's just weird enough where I'm like, I want to keep reading, I want to read more, and it's just weird and interesting and different enough where I'm like, this was cool. I like this for whatever reason.
How would you interpret the ending?
Like,
is he? Because all right, here's the thing. He describes this banana that he sees.
But I think he's looking in a mirror.
Either he was looking into a mirror,
yeah,
or he saw a child.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe he was doing something to the child as well.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's not clear.
It's not entirely clear what it was.
It sort of kind of abruptly ends.
I don't know.
Really,
I don't know why my mind goes. I'm not saying I'm correct, but that's where my mind always goes. He killed a child in the bathroom and then did that to himself and then passed out. He said, "Then I was gone." I imagine he passes out at that point.
When I reached up and grabbed the top of his stem, stretching it sharply, and once that's laid, pulled apart.
Does the banana peel itself, or does he peel the banana?
Yes. No, then he reached up and grabbed the top of his stem, stretching it sharply to one side. Slowly, he pulled it apart, revealing the incredible white flesh inside, radiating, breathing.
He's pulling something.
No,
I did the same. Dragging my fingernails down my scalp, carving into my bones, the flesh-airy pulp coated my forearms, and clumps of yellow shrapnel fluttered to my feet. Then I was naked for the first time, staring in my own eyes, my own flesh panting. Finally, believing that I was something more, I pressed my lips against the glass of cool breeze, rose to my core, and then I was gone.
So he kisses himself and then dies.
Yeah, basically.
Or passes out.
He's probably dead. If he's, like, digging his fucking... If he's, like, peeling his skin off...
You know what reminds me of that episode of Nash vs. Evil Dead where Ball
How much damage do you do on fingers?
Slices the woman's back and she rips open and all her flesh shows.
How much damage can you do with your own nails, though?
R.I.P. Nash vs. Evil Dead. If you're really forcing yourself, probably a decent amount.
Enough to kill yourself.
I mean, stranger things have happened.
I guess.
Maybe not in the cranium, but who the fuck knows?
Well,
I mean, the story's off the wall crazy.
Well, how soft was his skin? It's soft.
Well, that's true too. If he's malnourished and shit, his body's probably all fucked up.
Yeah, he probably looks like sickly. He was cutting his arms and his blood looked purple.
Yep.
Probably because he hasn't eaten any food.
Right.
He probably eats oatmeal and bananas.
His hair and banana bread.
Yeah, it's all clumpy.
Yeah.
Gross.
Ew.
But again, like we saw Principal Dole.
Yeah.
I saw Mrs. Goldman, like a rich parent, I guess in a way.
Goldman, I think, is another brand. I'm pretty sure of something.
Of bananas, maybe.
Not necessarily bananas, but fruit. I believe so.
Look up Goldman.
Yeah, look up Goldman fruits or Goldman bananas. That's probably another one. Goldman Sachs. You work at Goldman Sachs? Yeah, this story is. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. Yeah, there's really not much to talk about. It's just fucking weird. It's a weird story, and I like it for some reason.
Goldman International Fruits.
There you go.
So everything's a fruit reference.
Everything's a fruit reference.
How fruity.
What if this story was just a metaphor for the teacher coming out of the closet?
What if this story... All of the main characters are really fruits, and they're trying to become you.
What if this is a Sausage Party fan fiction?
Or
Dylan's really thinking. You can see the gears, really, really trying to rotate in there.
They're trying, but they don't seem to comprehend.
It's not. Yeah, it's fun.
I smell the smoke.
I mean, it gets rusty in there. You know,
rusty. It's barely. It's like
yeah. It's rough.
What can I even say?
Exactly. There's nothing to say.
I'm trying to.
I like the story. It's just, ew.
Well, yours very squeamish though too.
I'm a bitch.
Yeah,
I'm a huge freaking.
I mean, I was trying to be nice about it for once. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a bitch. I'm a huge freaking bitch.
Yeah.
Now I know
another Jake and the Mirror joke.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that at the beginning of the podcast. I'm a bitch. I'm a massive bitch.
I'm a huge freaking bitch. Hey, Alex, you can put on front of the podcast all you want. I don't care.
I know you don't.
Dylan, I'm a bitch. I'm a huge friggin' bitch. 2018.
Well, everyone said it now, so we should just put it back to back.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna figure out who the author's name. The author's name will be in the description if there is one.
His name
Is Mr. Banana.
This was written recently too. This was only written 6 months ago. It's not even that popular of a story, so yeah, definitely check it out.
A Mr. James Dole.
Mr. Jameson Dole.
Yeah.
Who's that?
So yeah, good story. Weird, but I liked it.
How many pumpkins? Or how many bananas?
How many bananas? Oh fuck! I would give it 7 1/4 firm, but not fully ripe bananas. Turn into fucking William.
All right. Let's all right. Final thoughts, I guess. As I'm like trying.
I don't want to repeat myself again.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You should.
I'm
trying to think of like how we felt reading it. I love the way it's written. I think that's something we haven't really talked about. I love the way that it's casual.
Yep.
But nuts at the same. It's a very casual. It's very hard.
Well,
it's very difficult to write something so casually.
Well,
and yet and make it as crazy
because it's from the character's perspective. Because it's from the character's perspective who is going fucking crazy. So it makes sense that it's written well in that regard.
But we've read things like the Pokemon Strangled Red thing, where it's like things start going crazy.
Garbage.
But the way that it happens is we feel like it never really. I hate this term, but it never really jumps the shark. You know what I mean? It never goes to a point where you're like, oh, this is bullshit.
It's grinding the fin. That's what it's doing. It's
grinding the fin.
It's grinding the fin. It's not jumping the shark. It's grinding the fin.
Yeah. Because, it's crazy, but it incrementally gets crazy.
Yeah.
In the right amounts. But I feel like it's getting just a tiny bit.
I don't know. I feel like Pokemon Strangled Red, the author, the narrator isn't going crazy. The narrator is just experiencing a stupid fucking Frankenstein bullshit story in a video game. It's not even happening in real life. It's in a fucking video game. This is a gentleman who literally goes insane. And we are only getting his perspective
and feeds himself to kids.
Right. So of course it's calm because everything he's doing. I mean, the way the word choice is, to him it's incredibly rational. Isn't that the thing? How do you know you're insane? That whole trope.
I'm just saying it's difficult to write like this.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. It requires a lot of energy and
especially if you're going with, because in the beginning it's like. It's hard to start off your creepypasta with this character that becomes Mr. Banana.
Right.
Nothing fundamentally is happening at first.
But Mr. Banana is not a tropey, but you would expect something. No, you would expect this to be a creepypasta. You know what I mean? What are you looking at?
Yeah.
That's what they're recording.
Oh.
Honestly, you guys are gonna hate me for this too. This reminds me of the Family Guy moment.
I mean, I hate you anyway, so.
I'm not loved. It's not loved. Okay, but there's a Family Guy moment where they go to the police academy to be, Peter and the guys go to be police officers, and they're in the room.
You're talking about the goddamn Quagmire bit
where he's pulling off his skin and
Christ.
Jesus Christ, Quagmire! One of us is gonna freak out.
He was on acid though.
All of them were on.
No, he was whatever.
And they're like, "Oh, careful, Quagmire! One of us is gonna freak out," and they're all just casually, just like, "Oh, what the hell." That's what I feel like, how I'm reacting to the story.
But I think John's right. I think it requires a lot of talent and energy and conscious choices made when you're writing something like this.
And eating a lot of
especially when it's like, I tasted one of my fingers. It tasted great. Right. So whatever that part was.
Tasted great. Right.
It's like these blunt sentences at the end of the paragraph that make it just how crazy
and
it is.
other authors
and yet
have done
not
that style, and it always works.
It's a fine line between something that's between a psychological creepypasta that isn't tropey.
Yeah.
It's like, because there's a lot of stories where it's like where the author or the narrator will paint this picture and say, oh, this all makes sense because the main character is crazy, so this all makes sense. But this time, I can see this actually happening.
Well,
I can imagine that this is what crazy
people
think.
It's kind of like Stupid Cows.
Yeah, a bit like Stupid Cows, where this is crazy because it's crazy.
Right, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
This again, we're getting the perspective of the narrator the entire time, but we know exactly what's going on. We're consciously aware, and you can tell it's building to something, and you're not entirely sure what. And I think that's one of the biggest strengths of the story. Because we all sat there and, I said, oh, it's going to heel turn at some point. But I couldn't guess what. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are other stories we read where we're like, we call shit out.
I thought he was going to kill someone.
Maybe.
I thought so
but why,
too.
though? Why would you think that, though? Like, what in the story...
Because he was going cuckoo.
I thought he was going crazy, and I was afraid because I always assume the worst when it comes to creepypastas that I haven't read fully, that it would just... I'm like, please don't end like this. Yeah. Don't just end with him saying, and then I killed a kid.
Yeah, well...
Because that'd be the worst ending. But in this situation, it's like... Now we're not sure exactly what happens, and it's great that we don't know.
It's exactly. Ambiguous enough. Yeah. No, I mean... The way the story is presented, it makes perfect sense, and we're aware of what's going on, and we know something's coming, and that's why I think that's one of the biggest strengths of the story. That I really genuinely didn't know where this was going, and it's very rare that happens. You know what I mean? Like, especially when we read some of the stuff that we read.
Yeah, I think I'm liking it more and more the more we talk about it.
Yeah,
it's good. Just
all right, well, that's my final thoughts, and Dan's
fucking bananas.
Dylan, any final thoughts?
I'm just going to stare at you for that.
Why?
Because you're making fun of me.
I mean, I wasn't, but go ahead.
Okay.
We asked for final thoughts.
Well, it makes you... It does a really good job making your skin crawl, and like how it's...
Tom was literally like shaking like this as he was reading.
And I was yelling as I was reading the last part, because that just freaked me out completely.
Right, again, it wasn't over the top like some of the other stuff.
It was just nonchalant.
It's very...
Nonchalantly just...
It's always...
And I cut my arm.
I felt more comfortable when he cut off his pinky than it was slowly taking little pieces of skin off his fingers.
Yeah, I know.
And putting little holes. Like, I imagine he's like really ripping into it.
That's how you fucking get rid of your fingernail. Your fingerprints.
We can stop that talk now.
No, but I mean, could you imagine, like, you take a dull knife and you just casually slide it across,
like a butter knife,
like you just casually slide it, like right here, like right on the tip, and you just you cut it in a perfect curve, like a banana, and you just.
Here's a good question, though. Since I believe that a lot of storytelling and like the way that writers come up with their ideas is subconscious. It subconsciously comes from past experiences in a way. I don't know that might be.
I don't know about that. I know that's how my brain works
that's how my brain works too.
Sometimes when
I'm just wondering what inspired this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, did the guy just think, what if a teacher... I mean, it could have just been, I'm going to write a story about a teacher going crazy, and then write it like this.
The guy was in a supermarket and fucking...
Or he just saw, what can I do to make my... He's having writer's block. What can I do? And he sees, he just holds a banana.
Be gone, demons!
No. Because of the noises. The funny thing is, all of the noises that we're hearing may not be being picked up on the microphone.
Probably not, and then we just look like
morons.
Sound like fucking Mr. Banana then. We're going crazy.
Hey, you want to taste my skin, guys?
Oh my god.
Cut this shit, man.
So again, very casually.
You did it to yourself.
You start here, right below the nail, and you just fucking...
No!
Ow, you fuck!
Yeah, I told you stop, you didn't stop.
He's just hurting us.
Just like...
Stop it!
Dan keeps making little motions of...
I will take the microphone and hit your dick with it.
Dylan, I'm trying to explain to the audience what they're seeing, what they're not seeing. What Dan is trying to... is what he's describing with his fans, is he's taking his hands and he's slowly just, like, cutting the... Ow!
No! It's not happening.
John, I think it's time to tell the oxygen story.
No! You want to get hurt more? Go ahead and say it.
Alright.
You'll go thick with some Michael Chiklis real fast.
John is not going to tell the story, okay? He's going to go home and he's just going to cut tiny pieces of
stuff.
I'm just going to go home and cut this podcast like I cut these tiny little pieces of the story. Ow!
Remember, I can reach you.
You're a bitch.
I'm a bitch. I'm a huge freaking bitch.
Oh
okay?
my god.
This is the man with tattoos. Like, didn't they cut into your skin a little bit to make those tattoos?
And look,
literally.
And look, I was watching a hockey game while I was getting these, so thank you.
Nice.
But like, imagine just cutting.
God damn it!
I keep getting hit by Dylan.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder why.
I want to tell the comic book story, but it's not appropriate for the podcast. So.
All right, we'll save it for the aftermath. So this has been Mr. Banana. I think it's a great story, and I think it does a fantastic job. Again, it's great. Again, this is a rarity, and this is the only last thing I'll say about the story, I swear to God. is it's great when an author has the ability to slowly... Okay, I'm not going to say it. It's great when... You can tell when an author has an idea and writes the full idea and ends at the perfect spot. I feel like he wasn't guessing where he was going as he was writing this. I think he had the picture in his mind ahead of time. And that's important. I think that if you are going to write a story, it's cool to outline the story. Or, I mean, the way I do it is I write a rough draft and then try to edit it as I go.
We talked about this before, where we feel like a lot of creepypasta writers have an idea, and then they write the idea,
and they don't know how to stop.
You're right, or they don't know how to fucking keep it going or finish it, right?
Right, and then you get like, I don't know.
So, like how I'm doing with...
I guess security camera would be one idea. Because, like, the idea of security camera was, like, a great idea. It was just the ending.
In practice, yes, but the whole...
In theory,
nothing in it made sense.
Because they not end.
Right, and not even that it didn't end. There were just no rules. Like, it wasn't clear what the rules of time, whatever the fuck was going on.
Go back to the episode if you want to know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were, on that episode, we were talking about taking, knives and slowly...
Ow! I told you! You're not stopping!
Alright, this has been Skillfully, and I am a very bruised boy.
Bruised like a banana that you can slice into very thin pieces.
This has been my friends,
Dan and Mr. Punch-A-Lot.
Dan and Dylan. We'll see you on in the next episode. This has been Skillfully Circus. Have a great night, everybody. Bye. And remember, don't breathe too much oxygen, otherwise it will kill you.
He had to. That was the coup de grace. That was amazing. That was amazing.
God. Yeah. Oh my God.
So just as
I told you not to do this. I told you specifically not to do this.
It's still good though.
Do you want to die by my hands?
I am so sad that you're going to Buffalo and going to Massachusetts because this is great. This is great.
Just ragging on
God, that's why I gotta hang out with you. This is why I'm so desperate to record these. We gotta get as many as we can before you
whatever. I'm
forever.
free after 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock.
I'm done with school Monday and Tuesday.
All right,
Monday, Tuesday, last 2 days.
Can we tell the comic book store story?
Go ahead.
Comic book story.
I want to hear your perspective.
Well, okay, so for those of you if you're still listening, and this is sort of like the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
For those of you who follow
comic books,
particularly DC, DC Comics, Dylan and I, we all live on Long Island. We've mentioned this before, and there's a very famous DC author, Scott Snyder, who's written all sorts of stuff, Witches, All-Star Batman, DC Metal, the most recent crossover event.
No Justice, which is coming out.
Which is coming out, but we're plugging all the DC shit. I don't even care.
He did the 2011 run of Batman,
right.
Court of Owls, if you
right.
know
He's been around for a while, and I love a lot of the shit that he's done. So, for Justice League No Justice, which just came out fairly recently, we went to our local comic book store,
Red Shirt Comics,
and which is a great name for a comic book store. There was a bunch of people there. And we got there, and we were waiting in line, and he was supposed to get there, Scott Snyder was supposed to get there by 7, and he was late, but he called and bought the entire store pizza, which was fucking awesome.
Was cool.
That was the first good thing. The second good thing was we get up to the front of the line, and we all have our stack, we all have our issues, and super cool guy. One of the nicest dudes I've ever met in an industry like that. Dylan is wearing his Flash shirt, and recently he got a Flash tattoo, which we should probably put on the video.
If he wants to take a picture of it,
yeah.
You can do that.
We walk up, and Scott Snyder he turns to Dylan and he goes, "Oh, you really like the Flash?" And Dylan goes, "Yeah, he's awesome. He's my favorite character." So Scott Snyder pulls out his cell phone, and he holds it up to us, and he goes, "Check this out." He pulls up a speed dial, and he goes,
"Josh Williams."
Hold on. He goes. This the first one's my wife, and he points. The second one's Warner Brothers, fucking name dropping.
Yeah.
And the third one is Josh Williamson, who is currently writing Flash.
Mm-hmm.
and I think is he writing Flash Wars, the Flash, Flash Man. He goes, and so Scott Snyder turns to Dylan and he goes, "I'm gonna call Josh right now, and if he answers, I'm gonna see if he's free. Do you want to talk to him?" And you looked at him, and then you looked at me. And you had no fucking idea how to respond.
I hate to interrupt you, Dan, but now I would like to get Dylan's perspective of what he was feeling at the time after he said it.
Dude, like, just what you.
I was stunned.
Just your overall feelings.
It just, you know. What are you pointing at?
No, don't.
Oh,
the Coke behind you. That thank you.
Like just a feeling of like
just ask for the Coke.
Just a guy who you want to get an autograph from. Just goes up to you and goes, "Hey, you want to talk to someone on my phone? On my phone? Not my phone, but his phone." I'm like, yeah.
Well, it's not just someone; it's like your idol. It's like your hero,
legend,
right?
In Scott Snyder,
right?
And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. He's like, hold on a second. Gets his phone, calls him, goes, "What's up, Josh? Yeah, I'm at a comic book signing now. I have a fan here. He's got covered in Flash tattoos. I was wondering if you could talk to him for a bit." Really? That's awesome. Great. Here he is.
So not only does Scott Snyder do this, but Josh Williamson answers and is like, it's like 7 o'clock at night on a fucking Thursday. Like
on Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, like some shit.
Could have been eating dinner, could have been doing anything.
Right. Fucking Scott Snyder hands Dylan the phone and Dylan talks to him for like 5-6 minutes. It was unbelievable.
Asked me about who my favorite Flash is, and I threw him a loop saying Jay Garrick, because the Flash Wars is about Wally West and Barry Allen. The old Barry West and Barry
describe
Allen.
your conversation.
It literally was, so I heard you like my stories. I love your stories. I'm like trying to.
And first of all, you're just hyperventilating.
Yeah, he's just fangirling real hard.
And Scott is guiding me through. He's like, tell him he's awesome. Like,
meanwhile,
awesome.
he's like, tell him how he's, and he cited my shit, and I'm fangirling because I can't believe something so fucking cool is happening.
Yeah, so I'm on the phone like, oh yeah, I love Jay Garrick, because he's the OG one, and Josh is laughing because somehow my subconscious knew not to say Wally West or Barry Allen, but to say something like Jay Garrick because he's nothing to do with the current storyline that he's writing. Right. So I say Jay Garrick. But I'm like, if honestly, if I go with the current ones, I'm gonna go with Barry Allen because that's the one I know from the TV series and from the comic books.
He didn't create Barry Allen.
He did not. Barry Allen was back
around for like
a long time,
80 years. 70
Oh
years.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about these things.
So literally,
Superman just celebrated his 1,000th issue.
Yeah, I know
Superman's 80 years old.
So he's like, "Are you excited for Flash 4?" I'm like, "I am excited for anything you write." Right now, I'm just like, I told him myself, I'm like, "I am sorry if I say anything stupid because right now I am just starstruck right now. I'm on the phone with you, and this has never happened before. So, and here's Dan outside the window going."
Yeah, I'm just
oh my god! Like he's outside the window.
And the '60s Batmobiles parked outside, like the Adam West Batmobile.
Fun fact.
I saw that when I was in Portugal.
Fun fact about that.
Yeah.
That car got into an accident, and that car is owned by one of my mom's old coworkers.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I've heard for when she worked at Oxford.
So Dylan wrapped up his conversation. We walked out and we fanboyed the entire fucking walk to the car.
Oh my god!
It was unbelievable, and that was the moment where I was like, I will buy anything that Scott Snyder puts out now because that was one of the coolest. We went to Five Guys. And that was one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen a writer do ever.
And that's inspiring you since you want to be.
Oh, absolutely.
He's
that's the kind of person that I want to be if I ever fucking finish anything that I've fucking written and try to.
That's who you aspire to be as a writer because he's genuinely cool.
When you get famous, Dan, just don't forget Scare Your Friends, okay?
I'm pretty sure you would want me to forget. If I go on Twitter and like, listen, this dumb podcast I was on, you'd be like, Dan, what the fuck? You would probably text
I'm like a
me
politician by now. I'm trying to bury this shit. They can't know about the slapping.
And I want to thank Kevin for catching up in like 2 days. All the Scare Your Friends podcast.
Yeah, honestly, shout outs to Kevin. He's been like commenting like a madman.
Yeah.
It's been great hearing from you, buddy.
Kevin is a close, almost relative of Dylan. He's your cousin's
my cousin's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool dude. Super awesome.
Very cool dude.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome dude.
Very cool.
Great guy.
Lots of vistas. So that was our last Wednesday. The moral of the story is kids buy DC Comics.
And don't grow up.
But not the DC movies.
So not the DC movies. Well, we did that last weekend. That was a mistake.
Oh God, why did you?
Justice League is.
Speaking of your favorite character, how about that Barry Allen from the Justice League?
Ezra Miller's the worst. The worst.
I don't understand I don't understand what brunch is. Is it breakfast?
He was the worst part of that movie by far.
That was awful.
By far. That and digging up Superman's rotted corpse. That's always good. I'm still disgusted by that. I'm more disgusted by that than the fucking Mr. Banana story.
I didn't think I would take Superman's side at all, and I totally took his side in that movie.
I'm more disgusted.
I think he honestly was the best one in there, honestly.
I'm honestly
his reaction was so genuine. Like, guys, did you just res me?
How did they allow that in the film? How did nobody at Warner Brothers look at that scene where they are where Flash and Cyborg are in a cemetery? Digging up Superman's grave and making jokes, making racial jokes.
It wasn't racial. It was a fist bump. There's nothing racial about fist bump.
They did not.
I don't know if you know this, John, but all black people fist bump. I don't know if you knew that. Did you see Black Panther?
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
Honestly, it was so disgusting. I thought, Fantastic Four wasn't that bad.
Fan Four Stick.
No, Fan Four Stick was worse.
At least this was a complete movie. Fan Four Stick was not done. That movie was not finished when it came out.
Something with Michael B. Jordan.
And Fire.
Yeah.
Because I heard Fahrenheit 451 was shit too. I gotta watch that.
But Killmonger, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well,
Stay woke.
I've been reading all that political bullshit lately.
Well, as you know, great times here.
I gotta dial back. I gotta go back to reading about people who fuck each other and rob banks.
Oh, sex criminals. I was
Yeah, you took your second.
Is that your favorite comic series?
It is. It is probably one of my favorites of all time.
My favorite comic book series ended last week.
It's all Image. That's all I read.
What's yours?
All New Wolverine by Tom Taylor.
Is it the female Wolverine? Or
yes.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And it just ended, and I'm really, really upset about it.
I read a lot of Image. I don't read a lot of superhero stuff.
I like the ending, but I'm just sad that it ended. I have all 35 issues, first cover.
You got 35 issues. I read 6 issues of Carnal, and then it failed. Superman American Alien was only 7. Or fucking, what's the other one? Cry Havoc, which was fantastic, was only 6.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, Dark Knight's Metal is 6 issues, but I didn't see the number 4 sign.
Swamp Thing had a good run. But yeah, I don't know. I can't, not that I can't read any of that stuff, because I actually like No Justice. I like the start of it.
Yeah. Second one's really good.
I just like it's enough for me to watch, like, the movies that are in mainstream media. Like, I just don't, there's nothing appealing to me about the comic books for the most part. That's why I read a lot of Image stuff, like Sex Criminals and Saga. And
I want to read Thanos. I heard the Thanos comics really good, especially
I have to catch up on Saga.
Invincible.
Invincible's over now, right? I have to fucking catch up on that.
I got in trouble from the library because I had all those volumes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but all I had to pay was $1 each.
That's fine.
And
so
yeah.
I have to catch up on Saga really bad.
They said they suspended my borrowing. I'm like, I don't go to
the library. Because you took out too many, or?
I took out 8, but it was a month overdue.
Oh, Jesus.
But they only charged me $1 each.
Yeah, it's like 5 cents. Yeah.
Which is surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a basic bitch.
You are, but you read a lot of good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Aftermath.
Oh, man.
What if in the new episode of The Flash, in order to get faster, you have to slowly cut a little bit of his finger?
Knows how
that would technically decrease his weight, so it probably would make him faster in the Speed Force.
First of all,
if he chopped off every little piece of his finger...
Stop! First of all, he regenerates, so that doesn't matter.
Well, that means he could just cut more.
He could just cut a lot more.
Just keep cutting.
I'm going to cut off his finger.
You better stop. You better stop.
He can just slowly...
You better stop. Or I don't care. I will throw this away. I don't care. I'm not paying for another one.
So fucking stop being a bitch, alright?
I am a bitch. I'm a huge bitch. So stop.
I've never seen a bully stand up and be intimidated and be like, "Yo, yeah, I'm a bitch. Yeah, I'm gonna beat you up, and also I'm a bitch."
I will say the F word, and you're not gonna like it.
What, fuck?
No.
Fire truck?
No.
Which one?
No, you know.
Which fire? Oh, fat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that we're done, you guys.
Now get the fuck out of my house.